Good morning.
Any update on Tomas Hertl?
On Hurdle, he won't be available this week. That's all I know. Do our best to update you after that, but Petro was out with the group today. Will not play tomorrow. I don't believe he'll play tomorrow, but he's in a regular jersey, so he's close. Samsonov, upper body will be day-to-day.
What have you liked with Waugh filling in for Hertl in that spot the last few games?
Well, he's got some offensive acumen. We saw that last year when he went in Jack's spot with Marchessault and Barbashev, and he did a real good job. So we feel he's got it in him to do it. When required, he can still play a similar game with whoever he plays with, but that's a little more of a line rush situation with Pav and Satter. Satter's really good off the rush, so you get a few more opportunities maybe than Pierce and Coley. Having said that, they're both scored double-digit goals, so they just get them in different ways sometimes. He's getting an opportunity, and I think every line had its moment on this road trip. That's the good thing about our team. We don't need one line to dominate for us to win, and we saw that. Different guys pitching in, and his line's certainly doing that.
The case for Eichel to be the Selke.
Me make it? I've been doing it for 2.5 years, so I need you guys to make the case, to be honest with you. I know what he is. I don't know what analytics get involved in that. I can guess but to me, he plays against top lines. He's a plus, 35, I believe now. Kills penalties. I've seen him check the best players in the world, so he should be right there with whoever else is in there. I assume it's, Kopitar every year has done a great job in that. So all the metrics you're judged on, he is very good at. Let's put it that way. So, and he's an offensive, he's got 93, whatever it is, 90 points. So a lot of times that gets brought into it as well, rightfully so, that you need a certain level of scoring. So to me, checks all the boxes.
Speaking of Jack, is there an aspect of his game he doesn't get enough credit for?
Well, probably the defensive part, because no one wants to put him in the Selke conversation. I find that odd, personally. I'm not saying listen, there's so many good players in this league. You can't say, well, he's automatic or this guy's automatic. I know, but he should be definitely in that conversation every year. And maybe this will be the year it starts. So that's the way I look at that.
The only number that he's not up there with is faceoffs. Do you think that should be considered as much as it is?
Well, it's a consideration, because that's part of checking well. If you win the draw, then you have the puck, so you've eliminated the need to check right away. So yes, and I have said that's an area, but that shouldn't preclude him from being in the conversation. It's one area out of a bunch. So, Jere Lehtinen wasn't great in the circle either when he won for Dallas. He was a winger, right? So, I do believe that's an area he can improve on. If he did, would that put him in the conversation? I don't know if it would. So I just don't think people see enough of Jack the way we do here, and his all-around play. And the playoffs, I think, opened some people's eyes for sure. He was up against Scheifele and then McDavid, and we'll just keep going right down the list. Barkov at the end, so did a great job. But yes, he could be better in faceoffs. I will say that. And he does, in clutch draws, I think he's very good. It's just the overall number. We're all working to try to get that to improve, himself included.
Penalty kill has not been as good as it's had been earlier in the season. There's something you're noticing is not going right?
I actually think it's been not bad. The last few, we're not taking a lot. Detroit got 2 on us, right? Was that the up there after that? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go through the numbers, to be honest. Oh, no, they got a deflection goal in Nashville. I don't know if you can do other face-off loss, right? Which is going to happen on a PK, but it hits the guy's pants and redirects. So I think that's one of those ones that we've had a few of where they're like, well, it wasn't an east-west play where a guy hammered it in open net. So, and I think we've had a few of those this year. So I'm okay with our PK in terms of your question of how not as good lately. I just think it does need to improve in general. And I would have said that 3 weeks ago when it was turning a corner. A little less zone time. We're trying to put things in place to allow us to do that. More up ice pressure, like Chicago, we did a better job. Trying to deny the blue line a little easier. We were trying to do that, and all of a sudden, who was it? It was at home against LA. They burnt us right through the middle of the ice. So there's a little bit of give and take there that we're still sorting through.
6-game winning streak, you have 3 at home, 3 on the road. You've got the goal differential, the fewer goals against, under 2 a game. Is there anything that jumps out at you? Multi-goal wins are all 6 wins?
No, I think it was the reason we were able to do it is because a lot of our game is functioning at a high level. And that's probably how you get on these win streaks, right? You're not relying on one thing. We're scoring lots of goals. We're finishing better than we were in the month we were 500, January, I think, where I thought we were playing well. We just didn't finish or make the play at the right time, I guess. It's like the Nashville game, right? We get a challenge to go our way, but then we go play and get the next goal. So we make the right play at the right time. We get a couple of saves from Hilly where we do break down in the third. Chicago, same thing. Go into the third, our power play comes through for us. So we're making the right play at the right time at each end of the ice. And that's sometimes the difference, right? You're not going to – Minnesota, I thought we got progressively better. There's games, yes, you're going to win where you're just outplaying a team, but a lot of them goes down to a player or two here or there, and we were able to do that on the road, especially the last 2 games. I thought we did it against Tampa. We got out to a lead at home. Detroit, same thing, 3-1. So Boston, we outplayed. I thought the home stretch was just us really finding our game. This road stretch was more – right play at the right time, timely goal, timely save. Makes a difference.
Daryl Sutter used to say making the playoffs is harder than winning the Stanley Cup in the NHL. You're 2 points away from securing a playoff spot. How big of a challenge is it to make the playoffs in the NHL? And how satisfied will you be? Satisfied might not be the right word, but you get to check a box, and how will you feel about checking that box once you're in?
Well, it's the first thing in front of you, to me, the way I look at it. You got to get in to have a chance to win the Stanley Cup, and we're right on the cusp of that. So that's, credit to the group, credit to everybody involved. Then the next check is, okay, how high can we finish? Whether it's conference, division, wild card, whatever it was. That's the next box. So let's get this one out of the way. And it's not easy to do every year, consistently do it. So good on the guys, good on the organization. They've missed once in 8 years, and probably means there's a lot of good things going on in terms of, how you put your team together, all of those things. But mostly you got good players in the room. You got good players in the room. That's what, they play the game. They're the ones that get you there. Coaches do their thing along the way, establish an identity, cultures, some different things, style of play, but the players are the ones that get you there. So credit to the team for having good players here year after year.
You made it 6 years in a row in Boston, and you're on the cusp of making it 3 years in a row here. What about you as a coach? Why do you make the playoffs every year?
Good players. I do believe that. We have good players, had good players in Boston. Obviously, we have to, as a staff, do our part, and I do feel that we've done that. We do our part to get them prepared, ready to play a certain way. They go on the ice and execute the game plan. I think they believe in the game plan, so I think that's the biggest thing I guess we would take credit for as a staff. The players believe in what we're telling them how to play. I do believe that. Lends itself to winning. We'll see where it goes from here on out.
Are you surprised at how good the power play has been when you haven't drawn as many penalties this year?
A little bit, because we're not able to get into a rhythm of a game. Sometimes that's when your power play, sometimes you need 1 or 2 to see what the other team, even though you've watched them lots, when you're in it, especially against teams that pressure, sometimes you need to live it that day. The morning meeting's not going to be enough. Usually you go, okay, I see what you mean. This D is pressuring all the way up to the top of the circle, whatever. The D is laying down in front of the net. There's different things they have to go through, sort through, and usually that takes a power play or 2, and then you can expose it. So good on the guys for being alert. And I think they know it too, though, Danny, that we don't get a lot. So they have to be sharp because they might not see another one. So I do believe that's a little bit baked in this year that, be on your toes early. and make sure that things that we've talked to them about, hopefully they're trying to implement right away, not wait 2 or 3 power plays. So, and I think what we've tried to establish on it is not overly complicated either. We're not drawing up a different game plan every game. We try to run through a couple of people. We've seen that. We've got guys that shoot a little more, guys that pass a little more. We just try to coach them up on what's the best option that night from what the other team's doing, and typically they've done a good job identifying that because they're smart players.